Today on the channel, we're going to take a look at my Solar GC1.6C. Today we're going to take a look at my Solar GC1.6C. This is a single cut, dual humbucker, cobalt black Solar that's probably 3.5 years old now. This thing is really cool. I've got a gig tonight in my 80s metal cover band, and we use drop E-flat tuning on all of our songs, and we play a couple Motley Crue songs that we drop down an entire step lower than that. So this Evertune bridge really works great with drop tuning. So that's why I'm using this guitar tonight. I found this guitar on eBay by luck maybe 3 years ago, and it was, you know, I hate to say it, it was like $450, $500. These things go for close to, I don't know, $1,000 on Solar's site, $1,100 maybe. The Evertune bridges are an expensive upgrade. If you're not familiar with Evertune basically keeps your guitar in tune forever. I mean, it's perfect. It's really good for drop tunings, because if your strings are very slack or they get a little bit wobbly, or you're banging out a lot of heavy chords, it will stay in tune. It will not go out of tune. I could try to explain the Evertune bridge a little bit better, but it's best if you kind of look it up on the internet and see exactly how it works. But some people are concerned that you can't bend notes with the Evertune, and you can. You just have to set it up so that you can bend notes. But you can also set it up where you cannot bend notes. The notes will stay in pitch, and that's great for rhythm tracking and keeping stuff perfectly in tune in the studio. This guitar features a volume, 2 volumes and a tone, and it's got push-pull pots, so you can split the humbuckers. These are Solar Duncan pickups. You can see it on the pickups if I get really close. It says Duncan Solar. So these are Duncan design pickups. They're not super heavy pickups. That's why I love them. I like a real crunchy pickup where you got to really gain it with the amp or pedals. I don't like the pickups that color my tone very much. This has got an interesting body shape in the back here. Similar to a Les Paul, obviously. It's a single cut. It's got a cutaway right here. I like the binding on the guitar. It's got binding on the headstock. One reason I think this guitar was inexpensive, or cheaper than normal on eBay, was the point of the guitar had a chip taken out of it, and I basically filled it with a little bit of wood filler, and I took a Sharpie and just Sharpied over it, but it's just minor, just very minor. The binding goes around the headstock. It doesn't go down the neck, but it's around the headstock and it's around the body. A lot of people complain that the fretboards on these things break or they chip. I've got 3 Solars, and fretboards are going to get a little bit of wear and lining in small cracks throughout time, but they shouldn't crack significantly and start to separate. But this guitar seems to be holding up really well. I love all my Solars. Some people talk about where the logo, they put this logo in the neck and it starts to crack at those points, which I guess makes sense. I mean, it's a very fine, sharp point on the Ola Solar logo there. This guitar is pretty versatile. It sounds nice, clean, and it sounds super heavy, distorted. The last time I put strings on this guitar was in late November, and we played a gig in December. I played a gig in December with those strings when I first restrung this guitar, and it's tuned to completely drop D flat. And I haven't tuned it since. I've played many shows with this thing. I only play 2 songs per set, so I don't have to restring this thing. I only play 2 songs on this guitar, but I haven't had to tune it. The Evertune keeps it stable. It's got locking tuners on it, like all Solars. I think all the Solars have locking tuners. It's got a set neck. This looks like a through body, but it's a set neck. They do a great job at ensuring you don't see any fret lines, or not fret lines, but seam lines where they attach it to the body. They do very good at that. It's got the string through saddles on the Evertune. These come equipped with a little wrench to adjust your Evertune. If you get stuck, Ola Englund has got instructional videos on how to set up Evertune bridges. It can be a little tricky at first, but once you get the concept of it and the hang of it, you're good. This is not the guitar you want to bring if you want to change tunings throughout the set. This is a guitar that you bring to the studio or the gig, and you pretty much set it and forget it. You can't really alternate tunings between songs on this thing. It's pretty much locked in. So hopefully your band has a bunch of songs in the same key, or you've got a couple different guitars that you can use. But I would highly recommend Evertune for those circumstances where you're in drop tuning, if you're a heavy-handed player, and if you want to try out some new technologies that's pretty cutting edge. It's very heavy, and this is an expensive upgrade to do on a guitar, and I've heard it's complicated to have one installed, so I would recommend buying a guitar with an Evertune that was already professionally installed by the company that made the guitar, rather than have someone try to route your body out and put one in there. That's the best bet. So let's plug this thing into my live rig and mic it up, and I'll give you a little bit of a test so you can hear what this thing sounds like. Tonight's live rig is going to consist of my Friedman BE100. I'm going to run my Line 6 DL4 through the back FX loop for delay settings, and I've got these Egnator 1x12s. These things are super light. They're really easy to carry into the club for load-in. They sound great, so I'm going to save my back tonight and run these. The club we're playing downtown in Nashville's got an excellent sound system, so they'll get me mic'd up and sounding super good. And basically I'm running basic stuff for my pedals. I've got the Friedman, this is my Friedman pedal that comes with the amp. It gives you the clean side or the distorted side, and on the distorted side there's also a boost. So I'm going to be running basically kind of gritty on the front end. Kind of some people wouldn't consider it gritty, someone can consider it really dirty, but it's pretty gritty, pretty heavy. This is going to give me that extra boost. Yesterday I picked up this fake I found out this is fake, but I don't care. This is for 35 bucks. I picked up this OCD pedal. This thing sounds so good. I'm really impressed with it. I'm going to run this OCD. I've got this Cockfight Plus EHX wah-wah. Sounds fantastic. I love the width of the wah on it, and I can emulate a talk box with it for the Bon Jovi stuff that we do. And basic tuner, and my Phase 90 for eruption, which I'll do. And I've got this cheap little power source on the top, Velcro down there with my iPhone adapter. Usually I run my Axe FX 8 4-cable method through my stuff, but for this metal gig, I need delay, I need a phaser, and a couple different distortion settings, and my Crybaby for the Jimi Hendrix stuff we do during the night, and gotta do some Kirk Hammett stuff from time to time. Gotta have that, and yeah, this is gonna be it. So I'm gonna run the Solar GC1 through this setup for you, and let you check out what that sounds like.